Can't even start this thing.
I know.
Episode 200. Hello and welcome to the Fish Nerds, the show about fish, fishing, and eating fish. I'm Clay Groves, your chief nerd, licensed fishing guide, and host of today's show. And we are here on Silver Lake celebrating our 200th episode and the 5-year show anniversary, which is just crazy. Just as a point of reference for listeners, most podcasts, and there's about 450,000 of them, don't make more than 7 episodes. So we are we're the best at never stopping. And again, we're recording this live on the worst fishing lake in New Hampshire, Silver Lake. So suck it, Silver Lake. And we're on the brand new Fish Nerds fishing barge, hanging out. And on the barge today, we've got lots of special guests. We're going to get to each one of them at some point. Doc Martin is here. She flew all the way in from Kansas. We have Nick Hudson-Swogger, who caught the biggest bass of the day so far. We have Rich Collins, our fly fishing correspondent, who caught a monster pickerel today on a whopper plopper or something like that. And even Dave Kellam is here jigging in the front of the boat, but not catching any fish. So it's going to be a really interesting hour. And lots of listeners and other podcasters have called in with congratulations and fishing jokes. And we're going to play all those in between segments on this show. If you are hearing this and thinking, oh crap, I should have called in my fishing joke, call it in and help us celebrate our 201st episode. Just call 607-378-FISH and leave us your joke. And actually, we're going to start off with the nerdiest joke we can think of, and that's Doc Martin's joke. And if you know Placostomus, this is the joke for you.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm here with Doc Martin.
In real life.
In real life.
I know.
And she's as cool in real life as she is on Facebook.
Aw, he's lying. Wait, or maybe I'm just really not cool on Facebook.
Well, I don't know what cool is, so.
Perfect. I set the bar low.
There you go.
Okay, I have a joke for you, Nick.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't be nervous.
The Laura Corriday walked into a bar and said, "Is the bartender here?"
Wait.
Wait, did you hear that?
Wait.
Yeah, I heard that.
I don't think I'm smart enough to get the joke.
It's so bad. I'm sorry.
I'm not smart enough.
I'm gonna reverse engineer it.
Okay.
So the punchline, it was a bar, right?
Yeah, is the bartender here?
The bartender. So is this a fish that hangs around a bar?
Nope. No.
That can't be it.
Wait, what? Say it again?
the Laura Corriday walks into a bar.
Wait, the Laura Corriday?
Yeah, walks into a bar and says, "Is the bartender here?" I hate myself for this joke.
I feel so dumb right now. Exactly, the PhD is talking.
Okay, so you know the Placostomus at the aquarium?
The
So
what?
The
catfish?
Placostomus.
Okay.
The armored catfish, little sucker fish that clean the aquarium.
Okay, yeah.
Those are in the Lower Corday. There's a lot of them.
Okay.
Okay, so not the one you buy at the store, but a different species of that. It feeds a lot on wood. So is the bar tender here?
Oh my God, that was a smart person joke.
This is a terrible joke.
She's in the wrong part.
You should be standing here, Rich.
Hey, I'm dumb as a stump.
Well, at least you didn't throw me off the boat.
Hey, Clay. Greetings, Fish Nerds Nation. This is Chris, also known as the Toph, host and creator of Gravity Beard. Man, 200 episodes. That's incredible. What a milestone. Congratulations. I have a fish joke for you. How did the mollusk get into college? On a scallop ship. Where do women fish keep their money? In their octopurse. Did you hear about the crab that went to the gym? He pulled a muscle. What do you call a crayfish with a messy room? A slopster. What do fish use for money? Sand dollars. How do the guppies get to the hospital? In a clambulance. What do you get when you cross a banker with a hammerhead? A loan shark. Why don't fish do well on school tests? Because they work below sea level. Why did the squid cross the road? To get to the other tide. Why are fish so well educated? They swim in schools. Where does a fish keep his money? In the riverbank. There you go, Clay. There's my joke. Thanks for having me on. Congratulations on your 200th episode. Hope you have 200 more.
Hi, fish nerds. I'm from the Almost Road podcast. My name is Patrick. Congrats on 200 episodes. I got a fish joke for you. A fish walks into a bar. The bartender says, "What can I get you?" The fish replies, "Water." Congrats.
All right, everyone. It's Clay. We're back again, and we're sitting on the fishing barge. Rich Collins, our fly fishing correspondent, is here, and he has been really kind of upset lately because he's been fly fishing, but he's been catching fish on eggs, and it's been too easy to fish. So two things he's complaining about: easy fishing and fishing with
Cheating.
with eggs. He thinks both things are cheating, although I just saw him use big treble hooks to catch a pickerel. Hey, Rich.
Didn't happen. This is Sucket Silver Lake. This is the worst lake ever, and I would use dynamite if it were legal.
If you could. Rich has poisoned a couple sections of the lake right now to get fish to float up and see what happens.
And all it does is make them deader.
Yeah, but you just got back from a big trip in Maine. You were
Rangeley,
fishing.
Maine. Yeah,
Rangeley.
I go a couple times a year up to Rangeley where there are, quote unquote, lots of wild native fish still in existence, mostly trout.
And were you catching natives and wild fish, or were those cookie cutter stockies? Because I saw the photos, by the way. It looked like one photo like 80 times.
I know, and it's a pretty wild thing because the suckers were running, and this is not something I grew up with or am familiar with. I knew suckers ran, but I just remember people would go and like spear them and throw them up in the bank and kill them. And there was like a sport, but it wasn't really. I don't know why people did it. Why do you kill a fish for no reason?
Well, I tell you, I've done it. So having speared,
there you go.
Having speared suckers. When Dave and I were on the quest to get all the fish in New Hampshire, when we were sucker spearing, it was very hard to spear one because the goal was catch one fish, eat it, be done with that species, and not just go berserker and start killing. Like, it's very difficult. I was like old. I wasn't as young as Doc Martin, but I was old. I mean, she's pushing 29.
You're pushing off the edge. So you went on a bloodlust quest to slaughter every
I had a very difficult time stopping at just one. I think Dave, did I kill one or two of them that day?
I think you killed 2.
Yeah, and I wanted to keep going. Like,
no, I mean, I could see that.
Dave was holding me back physically. No more. And I'm like, I must kill.
I could see
with a plunger.
Oh yeah. Or a
Oh.
little noose, like we'll catch them around the neck.
Oh, I like that.
Well, they do bite. That's another great debate. Is people say suckers won't bite during the spawn, and I catch them with flies in the mouth. So either they bite aggressively or they actually feed. I don't know.
We don't know.
Because they're a very confusing species. But I mean, it was an orgy. That's the only way I could put it. It was thousands of suckers doing their thing, and then behind it was this cool hierarchy of fish. Right behind the suckers in the prime fishing spot, there were trout.
Yeah, and before you get there, so a lot of people don't know, like white suckers is what you're talking about, and they probably
suckers.
in Rangeley, yeah, and they generally spawn in big groups. But if you look close, usually it's a big female in the middle and 2 males on either side. They're usually in threesomes.
Oh, you could walk on them.
Yeah, but they all get. But that's what kind of their thing is. It's 2 on 1.
Oh, it's a menage a trois.
The devil's threesome. So
the sucker's threesome.
The sucker's threesome. So that's how they generally do it.
But how do they do it? Do they just swim in each other's spawn?
Well, so if you listen to last week's show, we talked about how fish spawn. It's one yawns a lot, looks like it's yawning and dropping its milk on the other's eggs, and that's how they do it.
Comes out of their mouth?
You must yawn. I watch them. Their mouth always opens wide, so that's part of it. Oh, spawning. So they're doing that and having a great time, and they yell spawn. And then behind them is the trout eating the eggs.
Yeah, and I was like, the trout were 3 feet behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Then came salmon, and then came the chub, which were bigger than all the fish. The chub were like just rocks.
And in my opinion, some of the cooler
Oh,
fish.
they were so cool. They're all horned up too, and I don't know if they're spawning either, but their horns come out, the bumps on their head, and they turn this bright red. So
Yeah, those are spawning fish, and so they grow those, and they pile giant piles of pebbles like 3 feet high, and they spawn in those pebble piles. Pebble piles.
Do they go? Moo?
I don't know what noise they make. Although they croak when you catch them, so maybe they do.
Yeah. So the deal was for 3 days I fished some of these great rivers, the Magalloway River, the Kennebago, and I got 1 fish each day, 1 brook trout. And I was like, all right, that's pretty good. You know, it wasn't a skunk.
It's terrible.
And then the last day was a Monday. I went to a secret spot that everybody knows about, and there was one run of river where these suckers were, and everyone was using either an egg, a white egg, a small white egg, or a nymph, anything that rose from the bottom up.
No, they have them under a bobber.
Oh, of course, yeah. You gotta bobber them up.
I mean, excuse me, strike indicator.
Yeah. So yeah, my question was: is this like ethical? Because the fish, you'd literally catch a trout and it would like cough up eggs. They were just gorging. I mean, they were absolutely just feasting on these sucker eggs. And then the fisherman comes and basically tricks them. And I guess,
but isn't that by the definition of fishing? We're always just trying to trick them into eating something they're already eating, and then say that we tricked them.
But it's so easy.
If I was fishing for you, I'd put a beer on a hook and catching Rich Collins. Yeah, cupcakes. So easy.
Yeah, and then I brought up the whole thing about, bass on their spawning beds. Should we fish for them? No, but do we? Yeah. Would I do it right now on Silver Lake? Yeah.
I bet you would.
But ethics was coming up as it is often lately, but it still wasn't easy because the fish were all piled up in one particular spot. But the idea of eggs is fly patterns with bobbers, I don't know.
It feels like it's barely fly fishing.
It's barely, especially when you don't cast, when you do the doppel or whatever they call it. You just drop it in front and let it drift.
You might as well been doing tenkara.
Yeah, and then you can net them and take photos, and everybody goes, ooh-ah, and then you catch 1,000 fish.
Well, we were talking about you before you got on the boat today, and in fact, Nick was the one talking.
Nick said I was a jerk.
No, it's not what he said. He said, I don't know how Rich has all this fishing time, and what we determined is you don't. You go out and on these trips, and you catch like 1,000 fish, and you take their picture, and then you just take them on your computer one day and put them all, like remove the background on Photoshop, and just swap the backgrounds. Then every day you're posting these fishing pictures, but we're stopping for a second because Nick just cast it into the trees.
That's what he gets for talking shit about me. See, I have powers.
There we go, got it out. So we're thinking that you don't actually fish that much. You just are really good at timing your photo releases out.
Kind of like I have a job where I do marketing.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that.
And the real answer is I don't have children, so
so you have the time.
I have the time.
Yeah, I guess if we removed all the time we spend with kids every day and have time to fish every day.
You would have amazing fishing experiences.
Right.
Not that kids aren't amazing, they're just not fish.
That's right.
You can't throw them back when you're done with them.
So for sucker egg patterns, it's white eggs?
Yeah, white, chartreuse, like the bright yellow, and then there's red.
See, for you, chartreuse is bright yellow. Let's talk about that. My least favorite color is chartreuse. I hate it. Come up on the show.
Love it.
They love it, but they doesn't. What color is chartreuse?
It's a contrast. They don't know what color it is. It's just it's a high contrast.
But what color to you?
Oh, it's a neon yellow green.
Yellow green.
But yellow.
Yeah.
I think it's more yellow than green.
Yeah, I've never seen a consistent thing, so I hate it.
Oh.
Yeah. I hate the name. I hate the word. I think it's like fishermen trying to sound smart. like saying placostomate.
Oh, like watermelon colored lures? There's watermelon.
I prefer that. I know what the watermelon is red.
Unless it's green.
Right, that's not right.
Or perch. Perch is a color now.
Perch is a color?
Yeah, when you get certain lures, they come in perch color.
I hate this conversation. It's dumb. All right, we'll cycle back. Thanks, Rich Collins.
Hi, I'm Zach Demopoulos from the Raising Rents as in Parents podcast. Hey, Clay and gang, congratulations on 200 episodes. That's an incredible achievement. It really is. I got a fish joke for you. Here it goes. Poor old fool, thought the well-dressed gentleman, as he watched an old man fish in a puddle outside a pub. So, feeling bad for him, he invited the old man inside for a drink. As they sipped their whiskeys, the gentleman thought he'd humor the old man and asked, "So how many have you caught today?" The old man replied, "You're the 8th." Thanks for letting us do this, Clay. We love you, man. Thanks for what you do.
Hey, fish nerds. Captain Sean here, MainTunaFishing.com. Why are sharks so angry? 2 penises, no hands.
Hey, Clay and fish nerds. Congratulations on 200 episodes. Holy crap, that's amazing. Good job. We're trailing behind you guys. I'm Adam. I'm with the Twisted 10 and the Living Podcariously podcasts. We're almost at 100 on Living Podcariously, so trust me, I know what it takes to get to, well, at least that far, not necessarily to 200. But anyway, congratulations. That's kick-ass. All right, so here's a joke for you. One day, 2 guys, Joe and Bob, were fishing. A funeral service passes over the bridge they're fishing by. Bob takes off his hat and puts it over his heart. He does this until the end of the funeral service. Joe then looks at Bob and says, "Gee, Bob, I didn't know you had it in you." Bob replies, "It's the least I could do. After all, I was married to her for 30 years. Congratulations, guys. Super happy that you guys made it to 200. Can't wait for 200 more. All right, have a good one.
Hey, Clay, guess what?
What?
So, one of our Fish Nerd fans had a really cool idea, and he did a parody of a Flogging Molly song that I am going to play for you, and it's kind of about you and the nerds for our 200th episode.
I'm so excited. Fun fact, I don't know who Flogging Molly is.
I think I described them as a gentler version of Dropkick Murphys.
Oh, good. I like gentle drop kicking, so that sounds great. So who made us this? Who wrote this?
This is by Fish Nerd John King.
Oh, that hippie, crappy...
The crappy hippie.
The crappy hippie, the peace-loving redneck from eastern Kansas.
You got it.
I love that guy.
Me too.
Hey, John, thank you so much. I can't tell you, it means so much that people like you, and you specifically, participate in this whole silly adventure that we do. It means a lot, and I cry a little bit every time I get interaction with this kind of stuff. So I'm so happy. Thank you.
I will never leave this fish nerd life. Thank you for all the times on my life. I will never leave this fish nerd life, but come around and take you to the front tonight. When I fish, I feel so free, out with friends and family. I will never leave this fish nerd life. I will never leave this fish nerd life. It's how I deal with all the world's stress and strife. I will never leave this fish nerd life. I'll pass the test and do my best as a fishing guide. I'll be out in rain or sun, losing lures one by one. I will never leave these nerds. Hey, I will ever be a nerd. I will forever lead a fish nerd life. Out at the lake, fish day and night, because I lead a fish nerd life. Clay said that it would. Now everything should be alright. That Silver Lake, fish day and night, because I lead a fish nerd life.
Hello.
Tommy, can you hear me?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you.
What
Okay.
does the fox say?
Yep.
Your kids, that was perfect. It's exactly what I expected.
They're just ridiculous. All right, we're still
yeah.
floating on.
He's urinating again.
Oh my God! I don't know how he does it. Right now, Rich Collins is peeing off the back of the boat. I'm not sure it's legal, and I don't even know how to do that. Oh, and Nick just missed a fish. So maybe the trick is.
That was the most exciting it's been.
I know. We have exposed fisher people and fish biting so at the same time. What else could you want? Anyway, we're on the boat here. Dave Kellam and Doc Martin are sitting with me, comfortable, enjoying a nice dogfish head. My dog is sleeping on their feet. It's a good day. As long as Rich remembers to zip his pants up, it's going to be a great day. but this is not our first failed fishing trip of the week. This will be our second. The other day, Eric and I drove down to the Squamscott. Is that river? Squamscott River?
Yes, it's Squamscott River, right in Exeter.
Right in downtown Exeter, home of the worst cup of coffee in the world.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I would have warned you about that coffee place. So the place is called D2 or something like that, and that's a signal right there.
Right, it doesn't have a real name.
It doesn't have a real. They're trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
What does it stand for?
I don't know what it
D
stands.
worst coffee. Well, D1 went out of business because it was D worst. So,
well, the
So
frustrating.
they doubled down.
they doubled down. Yeah, screw that. We're gonna make twice the amount of bad coffee.
Well, the frustrating thing is they think they are doing you a favor by pouring each cup, right?
Yes, they do a pour over.
Yeah, they do a pour over.
Yeah.
How long did it take them to pour that?
Well, we actually, interestingly, so let me just kind of tell this story. This is more important than fishing. Who cares about fishing? So I love iced coffee. It's kind of my thing. And I bring my own kind of mug. And I went into iced coffee, and I ordered iced coffee, and he pours it out of a refrigerated mug into my mug, and he handed it to me, and I looked at it, and it's all curdled and gross.
Yeah.
And I handed it back to him. I said, that doesn't look right. He goes, must be the milk you added. I'm like, well, I didn't add milk. And I said, however, it would have been your milk I added.
Red flag.
Still would have been a problem.
Right.
You know, it still doesn't normally curdle when milk hits coffee, right? So he goes, I'll just make you a fresh one. So I hand him all my stuff. I go to the bathroom, alone.
Good call.
I know some people can pee anywhere. Just clarifying. And I come out, and the guy's not talking to us. Eric is standing there looking at me like, I don't know what's going on here. And then, so he's got a little scale, and he's measured out coffee grounds, by the gram on the scale. And then he's very carefully poured 200 grams or whatever measurement of water, hot water.
It was very beautifully poured.
Yeah.
To be fair. That's the only
looked
good
like
thing.
if he was making a commercial for doing a pour over of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 35 minutes later, he handed me a cup of iced coffee. He just poured a pour over ice.
Right.
And all I wanted was a cup of iced coffee. Like Dunkin' Donuts would have been fine.
Right.
Yeah. And then it was like $100 for it.
I know. They're really expensive. I've tried it twice.
Yeah.
I think you had the try it twice rule, right? You'll
Yes.
try anything twice?
Yep.
And so I've given them my 2. So I'm sorry I did not warn you about that spot.
Yeah. So anyway, the plan was to go down to Exeter and jig up some alewife, put them on a really big hook, and then catch striped bass.
Yes.
And so we got down there. You had your boat in the water, beautiful old boat with a nice motor on it. And we got on the boat, and it was beautiful. It was like 100 degrees out. It was so nice. And we motored up to the bottom of where there used to be a dam, and the alewife were jumping out of the water like crazy. And we caught some.
You guys caught some.
We got some.
Yeah, we got some. So I think your definition of success, because you said that was an unsuccessful trip.
Mm-hmm.
I think that needs to get reevaluated.
Okay. We were successful in jigging up some alewife.
Yeah, exactly.
And we had like a little collapsible laundry basket hanging off your boat as a live well.
Which works really well.
It worked really well.
Yeah.
And we threw all the live, semi-live alewife into that. And then we motored downstream just about 25 feet, anchored, put them on a really big hook, and tossed them out and waited for the stripers to come in.
Yeah. Now, did you mention you had one on at one point?
Well, we're getting there.
Oh,
so
sorry.
yeah. So
I jumped.
You could
the
jump.
script.
Excited.
I was gonna. You know, we have no script. So so we got one. Guys, we got one. That
What?
was it. We got one.
We got one.
One fish bit. We
Yes.
felt it pulling. The line was dragging out like crazy, and then it let go.
Right.
Yep.
And it's because Clay doesn't know how to use a circle hook.
It's impossible to catch a fish on a circle hook.
And who knew when you give Clay, that I should have given him an instruction manual.
It's impossible to catch a fish on a circle hook. No one's ever done it. There's no example of successful people fishing with circle hooks.
The PETA folks have a new hook out. It's just a circle.
Yeah, so we failed. We got to feel its weight for a while and everything, but we did catch. We saw snapping turtles.
And the cormorant with the eel.
And we saw a cormorant eating an eel. This was a cool thing, right?
Yeah.
That was awesome. That's
Yeah.
my favorite.
Yeah. So the best thing is we're looking at this cormorant and he comes up with this eel, and it's very impressive. And then, being a true eel, it slips out of the cormorant's bill, which has got to be a trick.
It got to be. And then the cormorant just goes right back down, grabs it, pops up again, and this thing is like flipping all over its face. Who knows, biting it. Do eels bite?
I probably, if you're whatever it takes.
Hey, Doc, do eels bite?
I've never been bitten by one.
Oh, see, then they must not. With your more than 26 years of experience, you've never been bitten by an eel. So, and eventually, after like 3 drops and dives, this cormorant got it. And then we took a beautiful scenic drive down the Squamscott River to check out the wastewater treatment plant.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We came around the corner, and I'm like, oh, I think I smell the ocean.
And I'm like, that's not the ocean. No.
Yeah. And I'm like, Doc, that's not the ocean. She's like, yeah, I hear you.
Well, you could taste it.
You can totally taste it. Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah. So thank you for that trip.
No, it was a good trip. It was a good trip. See, the definition of success is if something's memorable.
Well, win.
Oh, yeah.
See?
Win.
Total win.
We had a really good time.
Yeah.
And I mean, that we found the tiniest turtle.
Yeah, it was the size of a quarter. It was tiniest, and then Clay told me to skip it across the water.
I didn't say that.
Kind of bullied me into it.
And then
He
you
was really
didn't?
mean about
I
it.
saw that. That was really unfortunate.
It was.
I felt uncomfortable for you.
I didn't, though. I released it gently, and Clay was upset the whole time.
I thought for sure a bass was going to eat that thing.
Clay has some weird vendetta against turtles. I don't know what it is.
Nature's suction cups.
Wouldn't that be an octopus?
No, but that's a UHF reference. We were talking about that movie, and
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, we didn't bring the Twinkie things.
Oh, we were going to do Twinkie Wiener sandwiches for lunch today, and we forgot. So
Dang it.
Next time.
Next time.
Next time we get to 200 episodes, we'll do that.
Episode 400.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So anyway, we're celebrating 5 years. We're drinking beers. We're fishing, and we're happy. So thanks for coming.
Yeah. Cheers.
Yay.
Hi, Clay.
Hi, Clay. This is Kevin in Omaha, Nebraska, and my son, Bennett. Hey, how old are you, Bennett?
5.5.
All right, and you have some fishy jokes you'd like to tell?
What's the funniest fish in the sea?
I don't know what.
The clownfish.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm guessing they've heard that one. Do you have another one?
Yes.
All right, let's hear it.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Stopwatch.
Stopwatch who?
Stop what you're doing and let's go fishing.
Ah, that's a good one. You want to go fishing? Yeah. Okay, let's go fishing. Hey, Clay, happy 200th. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Love the podcast. See ya.
Hi, Clay, it's Leah, and I have some jokes for you. What do you call a deer with no eyes? No idea. What do you call a deer with no eyes and no legs? Still no idea. What did the scarecrow win an award for? He was outstanding in his field. What did the ocean say to the lighthouse? Nothing, he just waved. Why couldn't the lifeguard save the hippie? He was too far out, man. What do you do when you see a spaceman? You park, man. Why does a duck have tail feathers? Cover its butt quack. And finally, what is a pirate's favorite letter? You'd think it's R, but it's really the C. or the P because without it he's irate, or the P because it looks like an R with one leg. Thank you very much.
One day, an old-time New Englander had just polished off a 12-pack of Tuckerman's Pale Ale up in the Conway, New Hampshire area. I can't recall his name, but he's been around a while. He decided to go ice fishing, so he walked out of his house and found some ice. Drilled a couple holes, stuck his head down in the hole, and heard a voice. "There are no fish down there." Kind of confused the old man, so he went and drilled a couple more holes a few yards away. And again, he heard this voice. "There's no fish down there." So the old man now thought he saw some real God coming down here. So he looked up in the sky and he said, "God, is that you?" And the voice that came back said, "No, you idiot, it's the skating rink manager." Ha!
Hi, fish nerds. My name's Anthony. I'm from Southeast Pennsylvania. And I just wanted to call to congratulate you on your 200th episode. The show is awesome. And I just wanted to say to keep up the great work. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, fish nerds. This is Jeffrey Worm down in Texas. I do make some YouTube videos. You can find me there. That's not why I'm calling. I'm calling to wish you a happy 200, and if that's too late for this, happy 201. It's a big deal. Congratulations. And I wanted to tell you a fish joke. What do you call a fish with no eyes? You call it a peace.
Record.
All right, Doc. We're here. We're back. We're recording live in the car. And it's now a lot of people who follow along with Fish Nerds know that that Doc loves fake news. Thinks it's the best thing to ever happen to science. And
to my headphones here.
I know she's tangled up in her headphones. Recording in a car is hard. But anyway, so Doc, you teach at Emporia State University in Kansas,
They haven't fired me yet. Yes, that's correct.
And you created a new course on fake news.
Yes.
Like how to make fake news.
No.
Fake news 101.
No.
How to speak Russian.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're so close.
So close. Okay, help me out a little bit.
So I teach a course, and it's something that I created with two other professors there. And it's basically all about this fake news phenomenon. We start the class by pointing out that this is not a new phenomenon, which I think surprises a lot of people. Fake news has been around since people.
It was invented first in 2017. I heard.
Oh, right. Yes,
Right.
Of course.
Yeah. No, it turns out people have always been liars and manipulators.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always.
And don't think that just because you're one political side or the other, you're exempt.
Oh no!
Because you know
everybody's
what?
guilty.
And so are the fish nerds.
Mm-hmm.
We fall into this trap all the time.
Yeah. So I'm going to set some traps for you, Clay.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I wanted to start with a question, and then I'm going to lead into some stories. So my question is, do fish fart?
Do fish fart? This is a great question, right? I love this, but because the reason I love this is, first of all, farts are everything that's great.
Everybody
in the world.
loves farts.
Every culture. Yeah, it's funny across borders.
Yep.
It crosses borders without any help. It just goes.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter thinks farts are the funniest thing. This morning she was trying to prevent you from leaving.
That's right.
And she created a fart barrier. She stood in front of the door. She goes, "You can't leave, Doc, because I just broke the sky."
Yep. She ruined the kitchen, I believe is how she put it.
Right. So the question you posed me is, do fish fart?
Yes.
Good question.
Well, let me back up.
Yeah. Let's define fart.
What is
right?
a fart? Yeah.
Right. So fart is a release of methane from your butthole.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's a scientific word.
I would have said releasing gas from the anus. You wanted to say it scientifically.
Well, I was trying. That's as sciencey as I can get today. It's been long drives. I worked all weekend just being nice. So don't be creepy. Don't be creepy. That was my weekend plan. So too late. So So do they fart? Do they release gas from their anus?
Yep.
Seems like an obvious port. However, fish are different than people and mammals, and I don't even know if I couldn't even tell you if other forms of animals fart. But I know that every organism releases some sort of waste, right? Everything breathes of some sort and releases some sort of respiration. It's part of life. Is farting is not respiration, but it's still getting rid of waste. I would say they do fart, but not through their butts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they do fart.
Yes, I win.
And it is...
And the podcast.
Oh, and
No.
okay, we're done.
Bye.
Last episode. And it is through their anus.
Really?
Yeah.
How come we don't see bubbles?
No, that's a good question.
Because by the way, if that happened, if they had bubbles when they farted, I would be the happiest people ever. Like, it would be such joy to be like canoeing around and see bubble trails.
Scuba diving would be so much more interesting.
Oh my god! Yeah, it's just the greatest thing. Yeah.
Okay, so they do fart, and it comes. So all fish species are put together slightly differently. So I'm going to focus on one species because this relates to the next thing I'm going to talk about. So this is going to talk about herring.
Bring us a herring.
It's right after the shrubbery.
Yeah, the shrubbery.
So they have a swim bladder. And so the swim bladder is used for buoyancy. And so they can pump air in and out of their swim bladder. And they can, that's connected to their gut, which is of course connected to the anus. So they can expel gas in that way.
So they pump air in and out of the swim bladder. How does the air get into the swim bladder?
So,
deep breath.
Yeah, well, sorry. So fish don't have lungs. It depends on the fish species. So some fish actually can connect their mouth and throat to their swim bladder, and some is diffusion across small capillaries. It just depends, but that's how they do it.
Okay, got it.
And then it gets into the swim bladder, and then eventually into the gut, and then eventually it's a fart.
Hooray!
Yay!
Now, does it make noise?
So, I'm so glad you asked.
Everyone's going to want to know.
So the question is, there was, or was there? There was a group of scientists.
There might have been a group of scientists.
There might have been a group of scientists that might have lived in the UK. And they suggested that these herring have very excellent hearing, but they don't know what they use it for. So they think that the herring communicate, partially at least, by farting. What do you think about that?
I think, well, let's think. They live in large groups, right? It's called schools.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm showing up.
That's why they're so smart.
I'm showing up. That's right. So they're in huge schools. And so the question is, can they communicate through farts? I would think to a degree. If you call, see, I think they can smell each other. And so yes, I bet they can communicate, but it depends on what you're talking about communicating. Like, I think location, we're all sharing the same road trip stink, yes. But that's my complete, by the way, I made all that up. It's all just me making up stuff.
It's so good though.
Sounds great. Yeah.
Okay, so your answer is this is real news.
Yeah, totally true.
Totally true.
Yes.
It is. This is a true news.
Yes.
So this is from National Geographic, and it was published in Biology Letters, I think in 2003.
This must have made the scientists so happy.
Oh, this is, yeah.
They're like,
the people studying this are just awesome.
When they proposed when they wrote the proposal to whatever institution they were doing it for, before publication, it was like a bet. Hey, Joe, I bet you 100 pounds I can get a publication about fish farts in Nat Geo.
Are you ready for what they call them in the scientific paper?
Please, I can't wait.
You can't use fart in a scientific paper.
Right, I know.
So it turns out that these herring, they make unusual sounds at night, and they called it in their paper fast, repetitive tick. FRT.
No kidding.
I am not kidding.
FRT.
So it's fart.
Oh, I am so great.
And see, that's what science is all about, right?
SMRT, FRT. I love science. This is because scientists are all just like us.
Mm-hmm.
They're all just super nerdy and weird, and they still want to laugh at everything.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's fantastic. I love that news. So tell me more.
Yes, I have a little bit more. So these fish were found to produce the high-frequency sound bursts up to 22 kilohertz, and the noise, Clay, was always accompanied by a fine stream of bubbles.
No way!
Yes, way.
Oh, this makes me so happy. And giggles. Bubbles and giggles, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, that makes me... the amount of joy I just got out of this story. Like, first of all, it's true.
Right.
Second, FRT. Mm-hmm. Third, bubbles. Are you kidding? Like, it can't get better. I'm crying. Like, I'm so happy.
And you want to know how they described it?
Yeah, please.
Like a high-pitched raspberry. Yep, that's exactly right.
Oh, my gosh. And, Doc, do you know why farts stink?
I mean, is this a joke, or do you want me to answer this?
Or just do you know why they stink?
Yes.
Yeah, so deaf people can enjoy them.
Oh, no. Oh.
Don't worry, we don't have any deaf listeners.
This is getting worse.
Sorry.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it's true, though.
But what triggers
wait,
the noise...
Wait, we're about to drive past a state trooper.
Uh-oh.
Now, we're not on a cell phone and driving.
So, yeah.
We're not texting and driving. But is what we're doing legal? I don't know.
I want to find out.
Oh, good. She was on her phone.
Parked, though.
Parked. She was parked, yeah.
Okay. That was hilarious.
Would have been really funny to be pulled over.
Yes and no.
We would keep recording.
I mean, I'm already going to be late for the first bus.
We have time. Let's get pulled over. Let's do it. Do some crimes.
All right. And then in general, they found, just to wrap this up really quickly, what triggers the FRTs is
broccoli.
Way too much algae in their diet. Darkness and high fish densities.
Uh-huh.
So if it starts to get dark and there's too many fish around, then they start releasing their FRTs.
Oh, and they're British, right?
Yes.
I only fart at night and in crowds.
Awesome. Okay.
Beautiful thing. They're like Morrissey. I cried a million tears last night.
So there you go. There's your fish fart.
I'm so happy. We can do no other stories in the rest of my life.
Okay.
And this one we'd end and I'd be happy. So that was a beautiful thing.
All right. Well, that's all I got for that one.
Thanks, Doc.
Hey, Clay. Congratulations on the 200th episode. This is Michael Frank down in Columbia, South Carolina with Frank's Fly Arts. I heard you were looking for some funny fishing stories or jokes, and my favorite fishing story I heard back when I was working at the campsite sports shop on Long Island, the fly shop where I really first learned how to fly fish. Charlie Nardi, the manager of the shop at the time, told me that Lee Wolf had stopped in the early 80s. Lee Wolf, of course, is a very famous Catskill fly fisherman known for creating the Wolf series of dry flies and many light tackle world records. He's also credited as the originator of the whole catch and release ethic, the modern catch and release ethic with his quote, a good game fish is too valuable to only be caught once. Anyway, as the story goes, Lee walked into the shop and Charlie and Lee were talking fly fishing, of course. And Lee asked Charlie, "So Charlie, when are you going to join the 1820 Club?" And Charlie bit and said, "Lee, what's the 1820 Club?" And Lee said, "Well, Charlie, to join the 1820 Club, you have to catch an 18-pound or larger Atlantic salmon on a size 20 or smaller fly." And Charlie said, "Well, Lee, that's impossible. How is anybody supposed to do that? I mean, the tippet you can tie into and put through the eye of a size 20 fly is so small, it's like a 5X. Well, by way of explanation, of course, a 5X tippet is nylon monofilament that has about a test strength of a shade under 5 pounds. Lee's answer to Charlie, of course, was, "Now, Charlie, if I tied a size 20 hook onto a piece of 5X tippet and I stuck it into your lip, how much you want to bet I could lead you all around this shop?"
Old school wacky.
All right, mics are hot.
Mics are hot?
Mics are hot. We
All
are.
right.
Hey! All right. We got a mussel on the boat, and
Oh, can I take a picture? I want to ID it.
Doc is gonna try to ID this mussel.
How many species do you have?
Dave, how many species of mussels in New Hampshire? Dave says 4.
Because Kansas has a lot.
Dave said 4. Is what he's, yeah.
Oh, so it should be.
I think it's ellipsis.
Ellipsis. You know, funny thing, Nick. Yesterday I was talking to Doc about fish.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, is that Cyprinidae?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Of course.
Of course it is. No
What else
idea.
would it be?
What else would it be? I just like faking smart. It's been my weekend.
Well, you have to when you have, a hotshot 22-year-old with a PhD who's going for her second PhD.
She's like
in
the Doogie
physics.
Howser. She's like Doogie Howser of fishes. Masters in physics.
Yeah, whatever. All right, Stephen Hawking.
Doogie. All right, hey, but we're gonna. Nick wants to share some information about how to bass fish at night.
Really?
Resident expert bass.
I don't know
night
anything about
fisher.
bass fishing.
Well, you keep bragging about it.
Well,
So-
yeah, because I got to make myself feel good. No, so that's my new favorite thing is to go bass fishing at night.
Is that because the kids get to bed and you can get out of the house?
Yes. And I don't have to get up early.
Yeah.
Rich, you got something? Are you?
Oh, Rich is snagged. Yes.
And there are 10 different mussel species in New Hampshire.
All right, new information. 10 mussels in New Hampshire.
We were breathlessly awaiting that information.
That's important.
It is.
So which one did you find? Oh, she's getting to it.
Yeah.
I gotta do the comparison.
Okay. By the way, the beeping we're hearing in the background noise is the fish alarm saying there's fish under the boat.
Well, I got a wacky rig going. So.
They say, and also on the computer screen on the ranch, it says you should be using Panther Martins or Met spinners. That would be the go-to bait.
Oh, okay.
But what's your go-to bait for night fishing for bass?
Well, so I got into night fishing for bass last summer or 2 summers ago when I happened to be out after the sun went down and started catching fish. I was like, wow, this is really cool.
It's easy.
This is really fun. And
By the way, Dave just heard you say night fisting. That's what
I was hoping nobody caught that.
That's what everyone's trying not to laugh at. I just want to say that out loud because that way people know.
I night fist the bass.
Dave was right. It is night fisting.
No, it's
Doc Martin says definitely it's fisting. What?
Always have to bring fish sex into it, don't you?
This is Dave. So wait, what kind of mussel?
I think
Does he fist mussels?
Elliptio.
Eastern Elliptio? Yeah. Is that right, Dave? Yep, there it is.
See, he was right about something.
All right, let's get back to fisting.
Okay. So anyway, yeah. So I happened to fish past dusk and caught a whole bunch of bass, and I was like, it was really cool because it's a totally different experience. Because you have to really fish by feel versus sight.
Yeah. Now, so bass at night, are they? Is it audio? Are they hearing splashing and thing? Or are you using Senkos? What are you doing?
So what I've read is that they are fishing more by their lateral lines, so movement. And yet, what I've found is actually not using a lot of movement has worked really well for me. So I'll fish a
fishing
Senko,
slow.
and I'll just drop it in, and I'll let it sit, sometimes 30 seconds, a minute, and then give it a little twitch. And then
they pick it up. And so last night you went?
Last night I went to Crystal Lake, and Crystal Lake has really been my Silver Lake.
Your nightmare?
It has been my nightmare. And actually this year I've gone a bunch of times at night, and I've had a whole bunch of line breaks and fish throwing hooks and all the rest. And I went out a few nights ago and ran into a couple guys who were night fishing, and they said that they were catching them on Senko. So I went out last night, used Senko, caught 3, It was great.
Now, you think that was coincidence, or maybe they lied to you and you used Senko when it worked, or was it really what they were using?
Oh, it really was, because they caught fish while I was there,
yeah.
and I wasn't catching fish.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, they're roaming at night. Usually, I guess the bigger ones, you're more likely to catch a bigger bass at night.
How big were your bass?
They were definitely all within the 2 to 3 pound range.
So pretty good size.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Now, how come you're not catching any bass now?
Because I'm with other people.
I only fish alone.
I only fish alone. I have performance anxiety around other people.
Yeah,
especially with a PhD. You know,
it's hard with smart people.
I'm a terrible fisher person, though, so you shouldn't be embarrassed.
I will tell you, Doc Martin has not picked up a rod yet today.
Clearly,
I made her buy a license.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but if we were sitting in a pile of perch, she'd be catching perch. But we haven't even found the perch today.
Yeah,
terrible day.
I'm kind of hoping as I sit here talking to you and I jig my wacky rig that I'll get lucky.
Yeah, but speaking of lucky, you were helping me catch that big lake trout.
Yes.
So we did have some success. We were trolling. We were trying to learn how to troll. I don't know how to troll.
Trolling seems bizarre to me.
It's a weird thing, and we're letting out the line. I have these weighted lines. It's got lead core line on it, and you measure the depth by color. So every time it changes color, you're going down 5 feet. Using a spoon that weighs nothing.
So when you say lead core, you mean the line actually has lead in it?
Actually has lead down the middle, and it's got a woven fabric around the edges of it.
Now, how is that legal?
Because it's not a lead jig head, and it's not being eaten by loons.
Yeah, but what if your line has to get cut?
Well, you win.
No, I'm really curious.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. All I know is that's the thing. So I'm trying to do the thing.
The thing.
I'm trying to learn how to troll. And so far, I don't love it.
I know how to troll online.
So as I was letting the line out, I thought I got snagged on something. We got this big fish, and the entire time reeling in, I couldn't even tell there was a fish on there, or if it was a weight of the line, or all these things. And it was a pretty good lake trout. So proof of concept, but I can't repeat it because I have no idea what I did and how I did it.
That's how I feel when I go bass fishing.
And we just had you do a whole piece on how to catch more bass at night.
I mean, I catch them, and then I think that I know what I'm doing, and then I come out fishing with other people, and I look like an idiot.
Yeah, but you can't compare your fishing text to anything else when you're on this lake. This lake will haunt you.
Oh, no, we were on Conway Lake, and you and Vinny were.
Vinny was.
No, you got a bunch.
Yeah, I got a few. Yeah. But that's a better lake.
It is.
All right. Well, hey, Nick, thanks for being part of the Fish Nerds Fun. Oh, you got more.
Oh, I got more.
I was ending this.
Yeah, I know you were ending this, but
you were distracted fishing. I'm like, all right, well, maybe he's done.
No, I'm not going to let you end this segment without a little sentimental moment.
Uh-oh. I haven't done any of those yet.
Everybody get their handkerchiefs ready. Tears are going to flow. No, in all seriousness, Clay, I just want to congratulate you on your 200th episode. It is an amazing accomplishment. The podcast, Fish Nerds, has been just an incredible thing to be a part of. I fished a lot as a kid. Some of my favorite memories with my dad are fishing, and I stopped fishing for a long time, and it is absolutely because of you that I'm fishing again. And I've been able to pass it on to my kids, and it really does mean a lot. So I know that that's my experience. I know a lot of other people have had amazing experiences because of Fish Nerds and what you do. So congratulations and thank you.
Yeah, well, hey, you're welcome. That's cool. That's a nice thing to say. And no one can see this on the podcast right now, but Nick's hand is on the inside of my thigh right now, and this whole thing is way uncomfortable for me. So I'm going to stop it there. All right. So hey, everyone. This is Clay Groves. We are sitting. We're driving in my car. Doc Martin and I are here, and we are leaving New Hampshire. I'm driving her to the bus stop because I don't want to drive into the city. But I thought it would be a good opportunity to wrap up the Doc Martin's big adventure to New Hampshire and share what we did while she was here, because we recorded a little bit on the boat, but there's a lot more to tell.
Yes.
So first of all, first impressions. You were at the airport, landed. What were your first thoughts on Boston?
So I was really surprised that the airport was way smaller than I thought, actually. Like, it was very small. I flew out of O'Hare in Chicago.
And for those who don't know, O'Hare, I think, is the largest hub in the country. It's a monstrous airport, right? Or one of the largest in the country.
I have no idea if it's one of the largest. It's the one that I'm used to flying out of, but I thought, like, Boston seems like it'd be so big, and so I thought the airport would be huge, and it was just surprisingly small.
Yeah, and I hate it. I hate everything about going into Boston. I like going to Boston, but driving in is terrible. And that's why we're taking the bus back. I'm just like, that's it, not doing it. I put you on the bus.
You sick of me?
No, we had a
Good
great time.
riddance.
Yeah, we had a great time. And so I got you to New Hampshire. It was like a 3-hour drive back to home. We stopped and visited Dave Kellam at the Red Hook Brewery in Portsmouth.
Yes, the best way to travel is stopping at breweries on the way home.
Perfect, right?
Absolutely.
Yep, and that was really nice. And then my kids were so excited because in our house, Doc Martin's like a folk hero. She's like Paul Bunyan, the sciencey Paul Bunyan, like the smart version of Paul Bunyan. So the kids were super duper psyched.
I think Zoe even got out of bed, even though she was not supposed to.
She was not. I didn't even yell at her in front of you. I worked really hard all weekend not to yell at my kids in front of you.
To be fair, Michael Jackson was playing.
I did say that, didn't I?
You did.
We kind of to bring it. So the kids were in the car, and Zoe was acting weird, like 11-year-olds do. And I got really mad at her, and I'm like, Zoe, I would be yelling at you right now, but Michael Jackson's playing on the radio right now, and who can yell over Michael Jackson? But if you weren't there, I would have yelled over Michael Jackson. So rest in peace. So Friday morning, I drove you back down 2 hours south to visit Dave Kellam and go striper fishing.
Yes.
Yeah, and we got in his little dinghy.
His very comfortable boat.
Yeah. Dave has a stripped-down boat, which it means stripped down means there's nothing on this boat. It's just a deck and a motor. And
does it float?
It floats, and it works great.
Then it works.
It works great. It just has there's no comforts at all. Mm-hmm. Just like Dave. He's so uncomfortable.
No.
But he took his fishing in the Squamscott River, which we talked a little bit on the podcast already.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's fun to say.
It is really fun to say. And
Squamscott.
We caught a few herring, caught a white perch, and then we decided to bait up to try and target white perch. But Dave had this horrible bait, and I didn't want to use it.
Mm-hmm.
It was awful.
It was adorable and awesome.
They were the grossest things. Imagine a night crawler with like a million looking leg things on it that can eat you.
Sete. I'm pretty sure it's SETEA.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they're called.
I think so too. And
80% confidence.
Yeah, and I am 80% confident that thing wanted to kill me. And they're awful. I do not like this. They're called sea worms, right? They're just gruesome monsters.
They're super cool looking, and they have like really neat mouths that like open up with these little pincher-like things,
with
and so
intent.
they can bite you.
Yep. Criminal
they
intent.
don't bite you unless you're Clay and just unusually scared.
They can sense it.
And there's a lot of very dramatic whining, I think.
He was whining. I was just saying, Doc, can you put this on the hook for me? Because I don't like it. Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
And you did. You baited my hook.
I did. I forgot.
Yeah, you totally did.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, we had a great time with Dave, and God, I love that guy. I'm just so happy every time he spends time with us. Now, people who don't know Dave well, who are new to the show, Dave was one of the original founders of the Fish Nerds, mm-hmm. and in his personal life, his hobbies are being a hermit and never leaving his home or never interacting with other people.
And he should totally leave because he's awesome.
He is totally great. So getting him to get with anybody is a challenge, and and I just love him. So happy to go fishing with him. So we got home from Friday night from that, and
we went by the bridge.
The bridge
with Dave, the wonderful smelling bridge.
Oh yeah, before we left, Dave took us on a beautiful cruise of the Squamscott waste treatment facility, which looks beautiful.
I mean, for the 3 hours we were out there, it was that 5 minutes that really left an impression.
Yeah, it's a very aura factor. I forget how to say it, but it really impacted your nose and your
taste buds.
Well, what's really important, though, to know is that smell can trigger memories. And so next time that you walk past an open cesspool of death and hate,
I'll think of you.
You'll think of us.
Yay.
It'll be perfect. So And then the next day was Saturday, and that was it Saturday? No.
Wait, what day did I get here? I got here
Friday.
on Thursday. So Friday we
fished,
went with Dave.
and then Saturday we did not fish.
No,
we did
didn't. 'Cause
family things.
That's right.
We went to the Tamworth Farmers Market. Nothing fishy there. No, it was one fishmonger there, but I didn't talk to him.
And we had tried the mead and
local cider.
And cider, that's right.
And then we went to the Tamworth Distillery and tasted like 10 kinds of whiskeys.
Mm-hmm. Two of which were very good.
2 were good. Yeah. You even, well, you bought some, right?
Yes, I got some to bring home.
Yeah, which I'll have to mail to you. Yep. But totally great. And I forget what else we did that day. And then the next day was the big fishing adventure, which you've already heard on the podcast.
Yep.
Great time. And again, getting Dave on a boat with a bunch of other people, remarkable.
Yeah, that was really fun.
It was so fun. So fun. Fishing was terrible as always. And the Silver Lake lived up to its reputation.
Yay!
Yay. And then Sunday.
What did I say? We didn't catch any fish, but we caught a lot of fun.
You did say that.
I did.
I wasn't going to
Out
repeat that.
It was great. Yay!
Yay! And then Sunday. Gosh, what did we do on Sunday? I don't remember.
No, Sunday was Silver Lake.
Oh, that was a Silver Lake.
Uh-huh.
That's right. Saturday was the Tamworth. Yeah. And then, so Monday, that was yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
We went hiking.
We went hiking. Well, we had to go to like 10 parades in the morning with my daughter.
Yeah.
So, those who don't know small towns, we live in a really small community, and my kids go to school in a smaller community. We actually send them to a smaller school than in their own community to go to school, to Jackson. And there's, I think, like 45 kids in the whole school. Mm-hmm. So when they go parading, it's like a parade of like 10 kids. And
you have one of each instrument.
You got one of each instrument. Every kid gets to be a soloist.
Yep.
And they march and they bust them from like spot to spot, and they paraded for Memorial Day and did all the things, and we had a good time with that. That was weird. You got poison ivy.
I did.
Yeah.
Clay pointed it out, and then I stepped in it.
Yeah, I said, "Hey Doc, look, poison ivy." She goes, "Where?" Oh,
it's
yeah,
right there.
I'm probably gonna get poison ivy.
I did.
Yeah, so you get to bring that back with you.
Memories.
Yeah, good times. I'm itching for fun. And then we were going to go boating, but the weather was awful. It was just cold.
We thought it was going to
dreary.
get more awful.
Yeah, and we went hiking up in the White Mountains, and we had a really good time. And we kind of a fun for kids. If you're taking kids hiking, when you go out in the woods, pick a target of something you're looking for, like something you're hunting for, and to give the kids focus. They don't complain about hiking; they just keep going and looking, and they get real serious about it. So we were looking for 3 things. We were looking for carnivorous plants. So we have 2 species, well, 3 species. 2 species in the state. We've got the purple
pitcher plant.
Purple pitcher. That's hard to say. The purple pitcher plant, and we have the sundews. There's just 2 species of those, right? There's the what are they?
There's it's either narrow leaf,
yeah.
and then the spade leaf or circle leaf or something like that.
You can just look it up. So, but there's only one in our area, and so we went looking for those, and then but because it's so special in New Hampshire, we have a vascular plant that does not do photosynthesis. It's a pure white plant called the Indian pipe.
It is not a fungus.
Not a fungus, although everyone says, "Oh, like a fungus," and then Doc goes, "No, actually, it's a vascular plant." We stopped into the.
I adjust my glasses a lot.
We stopped into the White Mountain National Forest Visitor Center to talk to the rangers, and my friend Chase works there, and he'd never heard of these plants before, and then he made the fatal error of asking a professor, "What is a vascular plant?" And I loved this because I said, "Uh-oh, get comfortable," and you took this deep professor breath, and then you just dumped the information on him.
Well, you have to start with the difference between fungi and plants,
right,
of course,
you
because
did.
that's exactly what he said was, like a fungus. No. It's not like a fungus.
Right.
Fungi don't have vascular tissue. So vascular tissue is the xylem and the phloem that moves food and water throughout a plant. And some plants have it and some plants do not. And the plants that have vascular tissue are things like trees and all your pretty flowers. And those are called the higher plants. So those are more evolutionarily derived. That's the short version.
Right. Yeah, she was on the higher, lower, the mid, high, low, and had all these different rankings.
The hierarchy and
yeah. It was great. And then we went out and we saw people catching fish.
Mm-hmm.
And we hiked around and we found 2 of the 3 targets, right?
We did a little bit too early for the Indian pipes.
It was sad. I was really hoping. Next week I'm going to find one and send you a photo.
He's going to mock me and taunt me with them.
I'll say, yeah. And it's funny, if you pick these things, they turn black immediately. So like picking one as a sample to send to you doesn't do you any good.
Oh, just, I would prefer to leave things in nature.
I will kill things for you.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Please do not do that.
Yeah. So we did that hike, and then we went out for dinner, and then went to Ben & Jerry's. My friend Vinny owns the Ben & Jerry's in town.
And it was awesome.
Had so much food last night. We thought we were all going to die. And that's it. So and then now here we are in the car.
Yep, heading back to the airport.
And looking at the GPS, I think we're going to miss your 8:30 bus.
Oh, no, that's okay.
We'll be fine.
I have a 9:30 bus.
Even 9:30. Oh, you got a book.
I mean, yeah, hanging out at the bus station's pretty fun, right?
Could be.
We're going to find out.
Well, it gives us time. All right. So everyone who's listening still, thank you so much for being part of this silliness. Say bye, Doc.
Bye, Doc.
Hey, guess what podcast is up to 200 episodes?
Guess. I bet you can't
I
guess.
bet you can't guess. Fish Nerds!
Oh, yeah!
Fish Nerds.
Fish Nerds. Yes, Clay Groves, the chief nerd over there at Fish Nerds, is up to 200 episodes. So congratulations, guys.
200.
And we're gonna tell him a funny joke because he loves fish jokes. So
Are we funny?
I'm going to attempt to read a joke.
That's up
Oh,
for
who are
debate.
we?
We're the Steel Empire.
Steel Empire.
We're about to record our episode.
Of A Quest for Magic and Steel.
What episodes are we on?
I don't know. We're in
on,
season
like,
2.
100
We're in year 3. I have no idea. Yes. So here's my joke. Let's see if you guys know this one.
Why did the whale eat 2 ships full of potatoes?
Why did the whale eat 2 ships full of potatoes? I don't know why.
Because no one can eat just one potato ship.
Happy 200th, Clay.
Woo!
Okay, so we've been on Silver Lake now for going on 17 hours.
Boo.
We've put 3 fish on the boat.
It's the pirate boat.
Here comes a pirate ship.
Oh my God, the pirate boat has shown up.
That was very exciting.
There's a pirate ship here on the lake, and they're not fishing, but they're going to catch as many fish as we did.
And have more fun.
Favorite letter?
R.
You'd think it was R, but it's really the C.
For the win.
Sorry, I got really excited.
For the win. This is wrapping up our 200th episode, our 5-year anniversary of the podcast. Go ahead, Rich.
And what a journey it's been.
It's been a journey.
And we're headed for a collision.
There's really, like, for listeners who can't see as well as we can, there's really a pirate ship on this stupid lake called Silver Lake.
And we really are about to collide with it.
Yeah, and it's bright red and yellow. It's got a nice mast and a pirate flag. It's pretty cool.
He's too busy taking pictures.
Yeah.
And we're going to T-bone it.
He doesn't know how to drive the boat yet.
That's all right.
They look so happy, those pirates.
They look so happy. Let's wave.
Hello.
Everybody loves boat waves. They're looking the other way. They wave.
They know us. Now they're going to board us and make us walk the plank.
Is that a mermaid on the front, on the bow? Is that...
Oh!
That is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I love it.
Don't we have a horn?
Yeah, huh?
That's a pontoon boat.
Oh, is it this thing?
Yeah, so I was...
We just got judged.
I think we were dissed by pirates.
So I actually was putting gas in this pontoon boat the other day, and I bumped into these guys at the gas station. And I was saying, "Oh, you're on Silver Lake with your pirate ship?" He's like, "Yeah." And I said, "I'll be guiding out there this summer." And then I'm not even making this up. He said, "Why the fuck would you guide on Silver Lake?"
And we asked the same thing.
We keep asking and coming out here and asking again and again, and it's always the same answer.
Yeah. So now that we've got a doctor on the boat with us, why aren't we catching fish on this lake?
Oh, no. No.
All right. Well,
That's a good. That's a good doctor
That was
answer.
the most succinct PhD answer I've heard.
Oh, that's harsh.
In other words, she needs data. Let's give her some credit.
All
She
right.
needs data.
Right. She doesn't have enough information to answer the question.
Well, I have enough. I just didn't want to hurt your feelings.
All right, that was your one lifeline, and you blew it.
It's because Rich Collins is on the boat.
Yeah.
I wasn't earlier, although there was a fish.
I caught a fish.
And I caught a nice big fish.
I caught a fish too.
Hey, Dave.
Wrong species.
So 5 years in, you're not regular on the podcast anymore. Did you expect it to keep going this long after you left?
I did not, and I didn't expect it to get as good as it got. You've been doing really, you got really good.
Well, there's a secret I learned. It's a podcast with no pants on. That's the trick.
So
Nice.
all of us right now have no chance. We've been podcasting the whole day.
We are actually podcasting sans pants. That's
Well, Dave just pushed the mic away. Dave does have pants, but they are infested with bugs.
Oh, that's harsh. But I mean, honestly, Dave, for me, this 5 years has been a good fun time. Glad that you were part of the beginning and you're here now. And I always keep a seat warm for you. So anytime.
That makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
With no pants, that's
No
pretty
pants.
gross. There's a skid mark.
Oh, that's hard.
Oh,
go ahead.
For 5 years. So this is the longest thing I've ever done. It's actually longer than I've had a job because school. This has been longer than my PhD.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, so because you joined up with us almost at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So our longest correspondent is Doc Martin, and we're again also super glad that you're part of this. It's been a really cool thing, and you give our show that kind of credibility that we need.
Oh no!
Once in a
I
while.
want to be responsible for that.
Yep, that's your job.
Because what happens invariably, is I will get into telling a story, and I get over my head in the science, and I make fart jokes or sex jokes. And then having someone like you to turn to bring it back to science, and you're like, no, that's flatulence, not farts, or whatever it is. You
The
make it
science of
good.
the farts.
Exactly.
I want to put that on my resume.
The science of the fart.
I supply the science behind the farting.
Yeah,
Joke.
and we probably should thank all the listeners for all their participation in this podcast, because honestly, that's why we do the show, is we have the listener feedback. So all the Fish Nerd Nation, thank you for being part of this. And we're gonna have to get off this lake soon because Nick's wife keeps texting him.
That's not true.
Realistically, when are you going to be home, Nick?
Looks could kill, Rich. If you did.
This is a podcast. You actually have to strike me, and they have to hear the sound.
Well, we can fake it too. Yeah. So let's do it. Let's kind of bring this home and wrap this episode up. And
Wait, no, I gotta get everybody.
we're trying to do a selfie as a wrap up. We can do that after.
All right.
And so let's wrap this up. Doc Martin's going to be at my house for a couple more days. I'm going to try and squeeze a fake news podcast out of her tomorrow if we can
Perfect.
pull it off. So until next time.
If there's an next.
No.
Please, God, no.
So there'll be more. So
Any other lake?
Before we part, so we'd like to thank our families for supporting us while we podcast, do all the quests and fishing and all the things we do. Special thanks to all the Fish Nerds listeners for all the support. Patreon subscribers, really big deal that you're part of this, because honestly, without the money, we're dead. Big thank you to the Fish Nerds correspondents, not just those on this boat, but on this boat, we're going to thank you especially because you're here. So, Rich Collins, Nick, Hudson-Swogger, Doc Martin, and even Dave Kellam.
Even
Dave
Who I
Kellam.
thought died in Africa or something.
I did. And to the fishing dog, Ruthie. Yeah, Dave had died of malaria months ago.
I was pretty shocked to see he's back.
We got the ghost of Dave Kellam. So
he has a twin brother.
And the fish alarm is going off. Right, which can't think of anything. Nick can't think of anything else. So until next time, follow the code of the Fish Nerds.
Fish long and fish often.
Fish long and prosper.
I have no short-term memory. Do something. I don't know.
Spawn early and often.
Spawn early. And
I should have known it was fish sex related. How did I miss
Dave
that?
wrote that.
Yeah.
Yeah, spawn early and often. Avoid free lunches with strings attached, and
Never set your hook in a circle hook.
Never use a circle hook. Swim against the current every chance
It's
you
been 5
get.
years and no one knows that.
No one knows that. I still read it every time.
It's more like I don't know the finish because
Yeah.
I don't remember things.
All right, 200th podcast, worst podcast ever.
On the worst lake ever.
On the worst lake, that's right. Thank you, guys.